Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Medicare Space live show. My name is Victoria Cabrera, and it's been a while. Let me make sure our mics are working here. Testing, testing. Again, thank you so much for joining in today. I hope everyone is doing well. If you guys are listening on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're listening to, make sure that you put your comments in the comments below. Let us know how you're doing. If you have any questions for us or anything like that, let us know. We want to chit chat with you. It's been a while. So who do I have to the right of me here?
Good morning, San Antonio. Sylvia Toscano here. I feel like if I haven't been here in a long
You're
time,
a little
we weren't
rusty.
here.
You're a little rusty.
It's been a while.
It's been a
Hey,
while.
Shirley. Call me next week. We got to review your benefits. Some great things happening for 2023. We're going to touch base on we can't talk about benefits until tomorrow, to be exact, which is already around the corner. But before we move forward with that, who do we have next to Miss Sylvia Toscano here?
A-Rod back in the house.
It's not A-Rod, sassy.
Classy and a little badass. I'm
A-Rod.
still waiting for my coffee to kick in.
Yeah.
Mine already
I didn't
kicked
work
in.
out this morning. I woke up. My husband got home. I woke up. And then I got up to use the restroom. And then I washed my hands. And then I was like, I'm going back to lay down.
Yeah.
But I didn't go back to sleep. I was just up on my phone. But yeah.
Ma'am. Well, I think we're a little rusty.
Yeah.
We're all kind of
It
like,
happened.
Were y'all here last Thursday? Last Friday?
No,
no,
we
we can't do the
here.
show without Sylvia,
Thank you
Yeah.
very
the
much.
star of the show.
Yeah.
The star of the
What's
show.
wrong with you, Sylvia?
I was at the coast.
Uh-huh.
We had a great time. Well, it was sad. It was we were
Yeah.
out there.
Bittersweet.
It was bittersweet.
Yeah.
Where one of my friends, Valerie, her mom passed away, and so she was the only child of her mom and dad.
Mm.
And she lived with her mom. She took care of her the last almost 2 years. And so she took it really hard. She still is. And so right after the burial, she was like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I just want to go home, get my clothes, and just go out and just go somewhere. So
Yep.
we found a place last minute at the coast in Port Aransas.
Nice.
So there were several of us, her 2 nephews and their family,
Mhm.
and me.
Yeah.
And so it was great, quiet and crying and
Mhm.
play cards
much
and
needed.
stuff. Yes, it was a much needed break for her,
And Corpus
for
is a good
them.
Corpus is a good spot because you got the ocean and it's it's very soothing. The water is so soothing.
It is.
It's
I
something,
love the water.
What is it? It's got something about like healing, like
The-
it's almost therapeutic and
Mhm.
healing, the water, the sand.
Yeah,
Yes, just being out there.
For-
I love to go out there when it's cold in October, December,
Mhm.
when it's freezing, and sitting out there on the beach and with the wind and
with the
a bottle
fire.
of whiskey to keep you warm. That's my favorite time to go to the beach.
Yeah, I
you know.
love going. I mean, we haven't been in a very long time, but that's where I live from, right? I came from. We are just talking about this morning about Corpus, but I think I don't like to live there, but I like to visit.
So did you go to the beach often?
When I was
When
in
you were
high
young.
school, yes, for a bunch of bonfires parties. Not when I was young. When I was young, it was like we would go to the bayfront. We call it the bayfront, where it had the little, like, it was the ocean, but not the beach.
Mhm.
We'd have to drive over the bridge to get to the actual beach, like where it was actually cute and nice. But no, we didn't go very often as kids, but as soon as I hit 15, 16, 17, that age of high school, and we were doing a lot of, little
But
parties.
you take it, I feel like people like you, and I say people like you, people who live by the ocean, like they take it for granted. There's people who have never been to the ocean,
yes.
or been to a beach. It's crazy, right?
Well, when you got stung by jellyfish a few times when you're, I just said,
like, it's like, wow, like you literally grew up in Corpus. There was the water. And so we grew up going there every weekend, but we didn't live there. It's funny because Desiree was asking you the other day, didn't you go all the time? You're like, no. And then I said, Desiree, it's kind of like when people ask you, do you go to the river walk all the time? And we're like, no, like nobody goes to the river walk who lives here, right?
Exactly.
So it's like similar, we
Yeah.
take it for granted, and people come all over the country to come to the river walk and eat on the river walk.
true.
And go to the Alamo. People,
Yeah.
when I worked on the Riverwalk for at least 25 years. And I don't think I ever went to the Alamo, and people would tell me, how often do you go to the Alamo? I'm like, what Alamo? Is it here? I'd be like, no, I don't. Just, you don't? Nope.
No.
You know?
The Alamo is like, well, I'm not going to say anything about the Alamo, but they're renovating down there. They're
There's a whole bunch of stuff
it's a
going
big
on.
thing going on right now because it's really hurting the small businesses downtown. Everything's closed and everything. You can't get anywhere. You have to park a mile away. It's sad. I feel so bad for these business owners, the small mom and pop, because they work so hard.
Yeah.
And nobody gives them anything. Nobody really helps them.
Yeah.
And a lot of them can't. It's really hard for a small business owner to get a loan as compared to the big franchise, corporations. I won't name any names because they give them money. They want them to come to the city.
Mhm.
And the small business owners, it's real hard to even rent downtown because they look at them as like, well, you're a small mom and pop restaurant. How long are you going to be here? No, we're not going to give you that loan. And that's what I went through. I was looking for a place years ago downtown. And that was my biggest hurdle, is that getting the loan and their mentality of you're small, you're not going to be here for a long time. So it's great when the small business owners, they get the loan and they get big, they open up restaurants downtown. It's wonderful.
Speaking of mom and pop have been getting a lot of mail.
Mom and pops
have been getting a lot mail.
Mom and pops been
a lot of phone calls, I'm sure.
Yeah. So right now we are going into the busy season for 2023 annual enrollment for Medicare open enrollment coming in November for the people that are not on Medicare under 65. But there's a lot of changes going on, not only for the beneficiary, which is we see a lot of good stuff coming for the beneficiary, and a lot of not so good stuff coming for the agent. But we thrive. So for the beneficiaries, we just got word that the Medicare Part B premium will be decreasing for 2023. If you haven't already got that notice in the mail or have seen newsletters from CMS, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they've decreased not only the Part B premium, but they're decreasing the Part B deductible. The only thing that will still be increasing, I believe, is the Part A deductible. I'll have to make sure I take a look at that. But that's good news. So you'll see a little bit of a decrease on your for those that actually pay the Part B premium.
Right. Yes.
If you're getting Part B premium assistance through the state, you didn't pay it anyway, so probably you won't see that money regardless. But for the people that have been paying that Part B premium, it's not going to go up. So they at least can count on that, that they won't have an increase for 2023, which is really good. A lot of new benefits coming out for the new year, specifically to Medicare Advantage plans. So make sure if you are on a Medicare Advantage plan or prescription drug plan that you are taking the time to review your annual notice of changes. Those should have already been sent out in September. But if you didn't take time to read that boring document that tells you all about, because the thing with the annual notice of changes, it's kind of like, it's good, but you still have to, it's still in black and white. There's not a lot of like highlighted areas where it tells you where,
literally black and white. And it's not even white. It's more like a gray.
They were running out of ink.
Not gray, like a beige color. So when you see it, I just saw one for one of my clients, and it's like, it's not white. So it's like a beige color. And it's like, I don't know, there's something about the reading it that you're like,
something tells you don't read me.
Yes, exactly. Hide me away.
Well, at least, with some of the award letters, like the LIS, isn't it like purple or something like that? Don't they get like a purple letter? Or but these, it's like, okay. So the best thing to do is always have an agent that you trust that will advise you on the changes. We typically will only go over the changes, right? The changes, the most important changes that are going to either affect you negatively or affect you positively. And if there was any changes in your medication, you always wanted to make sure that you're reviewing that every year. Because you may have started taking new medications for the new year. So we do want to make sure that those are covered in the brand new year for 2023. Anything else y'all want to add to that? We can't mention benefits.
Right.
Remember that.
One of the things that has come up in the last couple of days is a lot of my clients or people I've run across have received letters from Social Security saying that their LIS benefits are ending in January. So they have to reapply for it. It's,
Okay.
I mean, it will continue if they reapply.
Yeah.
And so it used to be once they got LIS, or that's help,
And let me
low
ask you,
income
with
subsidy.
that, is it the same application you do initially?
It's through Social Security.
It's the same,
Yeah.
but it's the same one. Like if you're doing it brand new.
Yes, exactly the same
reapplying.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
literally
And we
5
can
minutes
help
to
you
do
with that. If you need help, we can walk you through that process.
And so what's happening is a lot of them, it used to be they apply once in a lifetime and that was it.
Mhm.
And then 2 years ago they started, and then COVID hit, so they stopped it. So
Mhm.
now this year they started again. So everybody's getting an application from Social
Mhm.
Security, and they're not opening it and they're not filling it out. And one
Mhm.
of my clients called me yesterday because he fell in the donut hole
Mhm,
and now
mhm.
he had to pay. And it's like, but you have LIS. So we rushed and did the application yesterday. It'll take 2 weeks, you know,
Mhm.
but I mean, just be careful. Open anything that looks official. I know a lot of stuff looks official, but it's not. But if it's
Yeah.
from Social Security,
Read the
open
small
it up.
print, because on the
Yes.
very bottom it'll say we are not a government agency
Yes.
or affiliated with government.
Mhm.
You'll know because when we send advertisement on the agent side, there's things that we have to say to be compliant. And on anytime you know you're calling an insurance company or it's an advertisement, is wherever it has that 800 number, it's going to say you will be connected to a licensed sales representative. Or on the bottom, it'll tell you we are not affiliated with any government agency. Somewhere on that form. So a lot of those marketing pieces that agents sent out to help Medicare beneficiaries, you'll know that it is not a government form because they do look like government forms, right?
They do.
You'll know if you just go all the way to the bottom and it'll tell you right there, or it'll tell you right next to the number, you will be connected to a licensed sales representative or a licensed insurance agent, whatever it might say. It has to say that on there. But yes, because those government documents are very important. If you're not responding to them in a timely fashion, you could possibly lose your Medicaid benefits, your low income subsidy benefits, or other benefits that you might have through the state. So just always be on top of that kind of stuff. If you have an agent like Sylvia or Adriana or myself, you can give us a call and we can verify. We have systems that we can actually verify with particular information whether or not it is active.
Right.
And if it's not active, then we can at least get you the ball rolling to get you reapplied for that stuff. Now, anything else that you're seeing out there right now? I know it's kind of the calm before the storm.
I know. Everybody wants to know about the insurance this week. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you have to wait till October the 1st. They don't
Which is
understand.
tomorrow.
But it's it's only 2 days. I know, but I can't do that. It's not even. I can't even bring it up. I have no paperwork. I don't know. They haven't even told me.
Yeah.
So
You're all, do you want me to lose my license?
that's exactly what I said. I'll get in trouble. But everybody's ready. They're getting bombarded. Some of the stuff they get looks so threatening. Some of the paperwork that the mail they're getting, you have to act now. You're going to lose everything. You know, you're going to be out in the streets, basically.
Yeah.
They just, I mean, they're really scary them. So yesterday I got a couple of the letters that they're getting. It's like, but they tell me I have to do it. And it's like, no, they're all advertised.
And then the stuff that they should be doing, they don't do.
They don't do it exactly. And then the calls I had, somebody yesterday, they got moved to a better plan, really better plan than what they had. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not a better. It's crazy how these companies called them and they convince them, and they're so. What is that word? I don't want to insult my seniors or anything. Vulnerable, naive, and they believe them. And I think, oh my God. Yeah. Did they tell you anything? And they'll tell them one good thing, the dental or the vision, and they're like, okay, I got it. But they have no idea that now they're going to have a deductible. It's the end of the year. Now they're going to have a deductible on anything that's a tier 3, and they're on insulin. And so it's like, don't you ask them?
Well, they don't. Yeah. A lot of people don't. I mean, how many times do you switch your car insurance and you're asking, is my sewer and this covered? Is this covered on the like you don't
Yes.
really ask a lot of those
Yeah.
questions. Do I have what's a sewage pump or backup or whatever?
Mhm.
Like
Flooding too.
you don't
another
think
thing.
to ask those questions on your regular insurance, or do I have personal injury protection on my car insurance? And car insurance to me is a little bit easier to understand than health insurance
Yeah.
because there's not as many line items
I was
as
literally going to make a TikTok video the other day and be like, oh my God, people don't understand how serious our job is.
yeah.
Like it's not. I was literally in the car driving because I have a very long commute and I'm going, we have to take so many tests.
Uh-huh.
Like the test is very hard.
Mhm.
And we have to be licensed with all these carriers. Like it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a pretty big deal. No offense to anybody, like other people who are in sales positions or whatever. Like our job is literally like we're handling somebody's health,
Mhm.
right? It's a pretty big deal.
Mhm.
And I think for those of you who don't take it as a big deal, the agents that are out there and just like, oh, just this, that, or the other.
Yes.
It's like, come on, it is a big deal. Take pride in what you do.
Uh-huh.
I know that I've been taught that from Victoria, like always do what's right by the customer. It's funny because we were at a training last week and one of the agents leaned over and she said, Victoria always taught me, do what's right by the customer, do what's
Yeah.
right by the client.
Mhm.
I said, yeah, that's true. So just really taking how serious it is of a job that we have as agents and
Yeah.
really, really doing the right thing.
It could get well, is like we were talking about this the other day, how I don't think a lot of people know how we get paid. And so with insurance agents,
Yes.
we
Oh
don't
my God, segue.
segue. Hey Eric, how are you doing? Yeah, so with insurance agents, specifically small agencies, right? We're a mom and pop agency.
Yeah, we are.
I'm a dog and mom pop never mind. I was trying to go somewhere with that.
You're a mom and
But
mom
the way,
pop.
but the
Mom and
way,
mom
the way
dog.
insurance
Mom.
agents get paid, like us, is, and I was telling the agents the other day because sometimes we will go above and beyond for somebody, and then they end up signing up with their niece or their nephew just because it's their niece or their nephew,
Or at HEB.
or at HEB or Walmart. And it's like, well, I took all these hours and I drove to your house and I helped you through the process and you love me. And then by the time it came down to it, you signed up with this other person. And we were like, because, the insurance companies don't pay us a salary unless you work directly for like it's W-2 position, but we don't get paid a salary by the insurance company. We don't get paid to drive over here. They don't give us gas money. They don't give us money for our cell phones. They don't even give, we don't get paid to take time to educate you and make sure you're making the absolute best decision for your situation.
Right.
And so I think it would be only fair is when you do decide to enroll into something that you call me back, because
Exactly.
that's the only time, if you do sign on the dotted line and enroll into that particular plan, is when I get paid.
And there's so much behind the scene. I mean, the flyers. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes we do get, some of the companies, major companies will help us do flyers, but even flyers, we
Mhm.
have to do that.
Yeah.
Mail out everything, literally everything. Like you have, your building here, your office here. So everything you paid for,
Mhm,
nobody
mhm.
helped you. You
Mhm.
only got paid if you
Mhm.
sold or
Mhm,
resell,
mhm.
and people don't realize that.
Yeah. But so then on the other side of that, you have the people that are taking the time to actually like educate you and go through the process with you and make sure that, even sometimes we have to say, right now you are in the very
Mhm.
best plan for you. We like yesterday, you spent 2 hours with the lady, right?
Yeah.
And the lady, you were finally like, no, I'm not. I just can't move you because it just doesn't make sense. You need to stay where you're at. And she was very adamant on switching, right? She was
Yes.
like, but I want to switch. And you're like, nope,
Yeah.
because if we switch you, then this is what's going to happen. And we're just not willing to put you through that, right?
Yeah.
Now, however, on the other side of that, there are agents that don't. Now I'm gonna try to say that the majority of agents are always looking out, but I met some of the agents out there, especially during some of these events that we went to recently. And I'm just gonna be very honest, they're not the sharpest tools in the shed. Like I'm like, how is this person
License.
licensed in
To
doing
sell health and life
Medicare?
insurance.
Like what the?
How many times did they take the test?
Well,
You know?
it's it's obvious it exists in every industry. You have good and you have
Mhm.
bad, right? And I think for me, like yesterday, like you said, like we all have bills to pay. We all
Mhm.
have families to support. But at the end of the day, like I want to go to sleep at night and not be
Mhm.
losing sleep because I put somebody on the wrong plan and because I just wanted to make a sale.
Yeah.
Yes.
I in good conscience couldn't ever do that because it's just not fair.
Yeah, yeah.
This person had a lot of doctors, took a lot of medications, and you're right, she was very adamant. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable doing this and I'm not going to do this. And I was very, very transparent with her. Like at the end of the day, if you want to make that change, because we are going to do what you want, right?
Mhm.
I'm going to go over all the pros and cons. I'm going to go over, this is how much is going to go up. This is what you're missing out on. This is who's not in network.
Mhm.
Like I'm going to go over all that information with you. And
Mhm.
if at the end of the day, you still want to make that decision, then that's fine. But I'm going to disclose with you all the negatives.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I've
so that
always
you're
felt
aware.
that it's my responsibility to do the right thing, not the
Mhm.
clients, because I'm the one that knows about the insurance
Mhm.
and they don't. So I have to give them the best possible option out there. I always think about my grandparents when they passed away 20 years ago, but they were on Medicare. And I always think about them. I wasn't selling insurance back then. I think, I wonder if somebody took care of them and helped them out. And so I always, with my clients, I think about my grandparents. What would I've done for my grandparents? And that's how I treat my clients, like if they're family members, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Eric asked, what's the difference between people that are licensed and not licensed and the fact that they both could screw you over? And the fact, so the license, like we're all licensed here, all of us, everybody in our office is licensed. The only time that somebody's not licensed is they're doing very basic admin work or marketing or something for us. But anybody for our office, if you're licensed, that means you have to pass a licensing test through the state of Texas. You have to make sure you pass background.
Yes, background check.
You have to
Get fingerprinted.
Fingerprinted background. You got to pay the fees to get appointed with the carriers. You have to. There's a lot involved. You got to take
AHIP
certifications if you're selling Medicare
Every year.
Every single year. Like I finished probably like in the last 2 months, probably over 10 certifications just within, and it's a lot of work. The difference is that we can get paid if we enroll somebody into a plan. However, the people that are not licensed cannot take a commission. Like they cannot get paid a commission by the insurance company. So I'll use an example. There's those counselors. What do you call those navigators that are sitting in the like ACOG? Some of those people, some of those are not licensed, and it's not just ACOG. It's like
none of them are, I believe.
But they're able, which is odd, that they could go over these things with them without having to be licensed, but because you don't get paid a commission by the insurance company. Now, I highly, 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 highly don't recommend going with a non-licensed person, because the fact is we are held to a higher standard. We have to take so many certifications. We have to abide by rules, or if we do unethical things, we lose our license, right? Yes. So you're safer, in my opinion. You are going to be safer in an insurance agent's hand, because we are just held to a higher standard, right. and our license depends on it. Now, I'm not going to say that either way. You can't. There's not a possibility of somebody getting screwed, like you say. But I mean, the only way that that's going to happen is those people don't last forever. Those agents don't last forever. In fact, the great news is, great segue, is specifically to Medicare. And we're seeing across the board in all the sectors of insurance is that the compliance is actually increasing. So specifically to Medicare agents for 2023, starting tomorrow, we now have to record all of our calls. Now, and we have to state to the client or the person that we're talking to that our calls are being recorded. So for those of you that are talking to your agents this year, you're going to notice that you're going to hear this call may be recorded for quality purposes. Whether it's a single agent like Sylvia out there in the field, or if it's us here selling over the phone, you're going to hear this call may be recorded for quality purposes. Another disclaimer there's going to be this disclaimer we have to read now. And because all of our calls have to be recorded, it really does sift out, or it really does, weed out the people that skip steps, right? So when your call's being recorded, chances are what's going to happen?
You're going to do everything by the book.
You're going to do everything.
Or you should be doing everything by the book.
You should have been doing it to begin with. So the ones that are going to survive is the ones that are going to get the recording done and have been doing it the right way. I've been giving them the right information all along.
So what the good news is we've been preparing for this since before the rule even passed, because we got word of it. And so
in April, I think.
So we got the system set up to make sure all the agents were equipped to make sure that when somebody calls their cell phone, that their calls are being recorded, and the automatic system, the automatic statement says it. So so that being said, because we have to record our phone calls, that's going to hold a lot of agents to a higher standard. Now, the great news is with our agents, they were like, oh yeah, that's easy. Just record the call. We already do everything else.
Well, you say that because you set them up for success. I've been to trainings this week where that has not been the case. It's so sad to hear people asking about, and these are tools that we use, right, to like quote and enroll. They're like, how can I get my hands on that tool? And I'm like, oh my God, like, who can I use that? Like, and then also like, oh, they're asking all these questions, and I'm like, wow, there's so many people that are unprepared.
And I think a lot of it is that when these rules came out, there was these other people in the back saying, oh, don't worry about it. It's not going to pass. Don't worry about it.
Or they were trying, I think what happens is you're fighting so hard to stop it.
Yes.
That they didn't stop to prepare for it. Even if it didn't happen, at least you knew you were ready for it. So it's like,
yeah, they thought out of sight, out of mind.
They're screwed.
Then it hit them.
Okay, so I was telling, and some people will disagree, like especially the field agents, but I don't mind the recording of the call.
I don't either.
I don't either. I'm not doing anything unethical.
Oh.
I actually like it because one, it protects us because there are people that have come back and said, well, you didn't tell me that medication was going to be $39 or whatever dollars. And I'm like, no, I know for a fact I did. Right. And so because as agents, we know our sales process. So it's like, we got to go checkpoint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like we go down the whole line. But then it makes you question like, oh my God, did I? Like, maybe I was having a bad day, or like, oh my God. So then you start stressing. Now you can just simply go back, listen to the call, and be like, there you go. Well, here you go. Here you go, Miss Client. Would you like a copy of the recording where we did go over that? Oh, okay. So it's protection for both. It's protection for you, the beneficiary, and it's protection for us, the agent. And I'm okay with it. I don't have any problem with it. There's technology out there to record your calls from your cell phone. You could do it. You just got to have an app, and you just, have it there. Now, some agents don't want to pay for stuff. So that's why they're like, oh my God. And they'll make every excuse in the book to like, this is going to make me not do good. Right. But I like the idea that calls are being recorded. Now, it'd be easier if they didn't have to, yes, but it's not a detriment to our business in any way.
And how hard is it? I mean, and nowadays everywhere I guess because since we're starting to do this, every company I call is telling me the same thing. This call is being recorded. Yeah.
Well,
so
it doesn't matter. It's difficult for those people who are not prepared, who don't have a team to help them and guide them. That's who it's difficult for, because I really don't. It's not that difficult for me. Victoria has set everything up. She's done it. You know what I mean? So I think it's really difficult for those people who are not prepared.
Right. And as independent agents, whether your upline prepared you for it, you should have prepared yourself. Because at the end of the day, we are independent agents. And these rules are set by Medicare. And as an agent, I have to abide by them, whether I like it or not. Had Victoria not picked up the baton and said, this is what we're going to do, at some point I would have had to do it. I would have said, okay, what do I have to do?
Absolutely.
Read up on it or asked or something, but it's the day before. It's a little too late for those agents who didn't do anything.
It's going to be one of those old school tape recorders.
I was so proud because we had one of our agents, and I won't say who, but she's about 67, right? Did she turn 67 this year?
I think so.
67 or 66. If I'm saying this wrong, I'm so sorry if you're listening, but I think she knows who she is. So I had told everybody, guys, I need everybody to print out this disclaimer, put it somewhere where you will not forget it, because there's no way to memorize that in 2 or 3 days. Like, you're going to have to like have it somewhere visible. And we've made it visible on some of our systems that we use, but she sends me a picture. She's like, look, I put it on my screensaver.
I saw that this morning.
I was like, oh my God, that is so brilliant for as
I already put it on my email yesterday.
yeah.
So
Oh,
I
I
think I'm going to do it on my
ahead of it.
screensaver. I
'Cause we
thought
have
that was
to
a great
include
idea.
that disclaimer on everything
Yeah.
that we
so
send out.
goodbye dogs, goodbye spouses. Now it's the disclaimer on the screensaver.
Sorry, babe, you're about to
You're about to be screwed.
you're about to be
to be-
canceled. on
So
my
I thought that was
screensaver.
a great idea. So I mean, and the funny thing is we have about I'm going to say 6 agents that are over the age of 60,
And they're probably some
Mhm.
of our hardest working agents.
hardest working agents, and the ones that have adopted, they were like, yeah, sure, okay, cool. So I just push this button and do that.
But also the
Yeah.
opposite, because you were doing some new class, and I had the person reach out to me who you had done the class, and he said, I was very, very surprised. I was very surprised by her professionalism. And I was like, why wouldn't Victoria be professional? And then, he keeps talking, and he said, she looked very young. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't think that she was going to know what she was talking about. And I thought she did an amazing job. I was really surprised and really professional. And I was like, Victoria, see, look, you still look like a babe.
And it's funny. It's funny because I was like, man, I got to redo that webinar.
No,
'Cause it's like,
it looked
it's not-
good.
it's-
You, I told you he kept saying how professional you are. And so it goes to the opposite, right? So like people who have
Mhm.
been in the business for a really long time. Some of these people don't know what they're talking about. And there's some people who are really, really skilled to know what they're doing. And there's people who have just come in and do know. I
Mhm.
mean, you're
Right.
kind of like in the middle. You're still young, but you've been doing it for a long
Mhm.
time.
Well, look at Desiree. As young as she is, I see her more advanced than some of these agents that I've known for years and years.
Mhm,
You
mhm,
know, she's compliant with everything she does.
mhm.
And she'll ask questions. She's always asking me about when we advance, what can I do? What can I not do? And I see other agents that I know that they're like, it's okay. Or they
Yeah,
don't
I'm not
even
gonna
bother.
cross that
to-
bridge
you
when I
know?
get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so proud of her yesterday because I had made the suggestion that when they start their retail at HEB, that they should go talk to the manager, get to know them, blah, 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 right before they start. Well, I mean, I wasn't expecting Desiree to do it by herself. I just was saying y'all should go together with her and another agent that are going to be at that location. And yesterday she comes to me, she's like, hey, so I went to HEB. I was like, oh, what did you get? She's like, no, I went to go talk to the manager. And then this manager said this and this man. I was like, oh, you went to go talk to the manager? Wow. Like, that's pretty good. Like
Yeah.
taking the initiative. Like,
She's good.
so I was like, okay, all right. Well, this is good. So needless to say, she had a good experience with one of the managers that was on staff. And so anyway, but that goes to show you, like, she's only 19 and
Yeah.
she's just, I tell her, okay, you should do this. And then she just goes do it.
And she does it. She's not afraid. And,
Yeah.
she's out there.
Yeah.
She's a perfect example of starting new agents of what to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How are you guys doing out there? Thank you so much for joining us and tuning in. We're talking about Medicare changes. We're talking about some of the changes that are being enforced with us as agents. We're talking about, we also want to send our prayers out there to the people in Florida. I have a lot of
Mhm.
friends out there. One of our agents too moved out there. He kind of missed it because he's in Miami, but I hope that everybody, all my friends there in Florida are doing fine. I've met a lot of great, great people. I was actually talking to my friends in Texas. I have a lot of insurance friends everywhere, but my core friends that I talk to are actually all in Texas, Houston, Dallas, or Stephenville, here, some in the Rio Grande, and then I have a lot in Florida. I said, why is Texas and Florida always the coolest states? Like, I feel. Then I'm gonna get crap because I probably have friends that are listening from other states.
Sorry,
like,
guys.
like Sandra from Montana.
My cousin lives in Tampa, so they had to move out. They left Tuesday
Oh no.
because they were going to, I guess where they lived, they knew they were going to get hit. So
Yeah.
I haven't texted them or talked to them. So I don't know if they've gone back to see their
Mhm,
house
mhm.
or what damage it caused, but they decided to leave early. So, which
Well,
is good.
That's good that they got out because I was seeing
Mhm.
some of those pictures and
The rescue pictures.
Yeah. I didn't know it was that bad. Because we always get in Corpus, we were always used to getting those hurricane watch. And, now they have the evacuation lanes
Oh, yeah.
from 30
Mhm.
on 37. And in the past few years, right before COVID, there was few hurricane watches and that where my family had to get out to different areas, but it never actually like hit hard. But because I guess some of those places you're just right there, their sea level is what's it higher than
Yeah, the last one that was really bad was the one that hit Rockport. And I remember it was exactly 5 years ago because I was pregnant with Maddie. And my mom came over to the house because she's like, I just got to be with you because I was about to go into labor pretty soon. And so she was there at the house with us, making sure everything was okay. And she felt better being there with me and being pregnant. But yeah, I remember it hit pretty bad down there. They're still rebuilding.
Yeah, that's really close to our home too. So I'm just wanting to let everybody know in Florida that we're thinking about them. I was thinking about a couple of our friends there, and I was gonna message them, but then I always feel bad. I'm like, what if they're like without power? Like, what if they're this? But but let us know if y'all need anything. I don't know what we can do from here, but ship whatever y'all need. Let us know if y'all need like care packs or anything like that. I mean, that's the best that we could probably do, right? We can't get down there and help, but you guys are on my mind. I just want to let y'all know that because I know I have like friends like Melissa down there, Raphael, Medicare Bob. I know that Greg's down there. There's a few people down there that there's a lot of people that I know that are in Florida actually.
Yeah.
So it is kind of scary when something like that happens and good people out there that have their businesses established and you just kind of worry for them. So I'm praying that they missed it and missed them, especially heading into the busy season.
I know.
Of course, people don't think like that, right? Like if something hit, what was like not the other day, but like sometime last year, we had a tornado watch in San Antonio. Do you remember that? It was last year, I think.
It was the day that I moved into my house. And it hit. And from my house, it's only 2 miles. It took me 30-40 minutes to get from my old apartment to my new house because there were trees torn in the middle of the street. It was insane. I zigzag and went here and there. And I had gone back to the house to go get last minute from my apartment. So I ran upstairs and ran downstairs. And like in 10 minutes, it came and went. And my daughter was in the car. She was like hysterical. She's like, oh my God, you missed it.
Oh
I was like, it was just a little storm, a little rain until we drove down the road and we realized the destruction it had done. It was insane because it clear. It wasn't raining. There was nothing.
Yeah, it just happens out of nowhere.
It just happens out of nowhere. So I was telling my daughter, oh, come on, suck it up. It's a little rain. You'll be okay. Until we drove down, it's like, oh my God. I was in there for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
So I remember calling my brother-in-law because I always call him when random crap. I don't know. I've never been through a tornado and I don't know what to do. Like, how do I protect myself? Like we have a 2-story home. All I think is the whole upstairs is going to fall enough. So do we go upstairs? Do we stay downstairs? What do we do? So I call him like, hey bro, so we have a tornado warning, right? And of course my mom's like, what? I need to go up there. I'm like, Mom, you're not going to come up here. We're in a tornado warning. I was like, but it's a warning. Like they're actually warning us to seek like protection or whatever. So what do we do? And he's like, all right, well, you have that restroom, go in the restroom. And what you want to do, if you have a mattress or you have something, well, at the time we had this like long couch that had this one long cushion. So we were able to take the cushion. And we took me, Mila, and Carmenza were on the spare restroom downstairs. And we were all like this. And I was like, okay, babe. And what do we do so then I got to call my mom and let her know if she doesn't hear from us, like within about an hour or 30 minutes, something's wrong. And so we were like prepared. And then all of a sudden it didn't happen. Nothing happened. But it's kind of weird because when you go outside, you start hearing this. I was like, oh my God, like this is so scary. So nothing happened. Sound. Thank God. But now then I realized I am not prepared for natural disasters. Like we don't have a generator. We weren't prepared for the freeze. We weren't prepared for no tornado.
I don't even have a flashlight.
Oh my God.
I had one and then I don't know what I did with it. And so I need a flashlight. I need a radio with batteries.
She needs a bottle of wine.
You should get one of those.
I already have my wine.
When you crank radio.
I always have my wine. So I'm not prepared. I always have water, so that's about
That's
that's
you're
it.
good.
That's the
We're
only thing I
screwed
ever
because we
had.
don't use bottled waters anymore because Carmenza says we can't use bottled waters anymore. So
Yeah, we don't
Ah,
use bottled waters
see,
anymore.
I
We
use
use the
bottled
water
waters.
from the fridge.
But I thought about buying like a couple of those. At Academy they sell these things that you could suck water out from anywhere and it like
Cleans
okay,
it,
cleans
yeah.
it. Well, I told Carmenza we should like next
Just in
time,
case.
just in case we get some of those because we have a whole pool of water. So we just go.
Ah,
We just got the pool.
Siphon it.
When the freeze happened, my friends in Austin, she told me they didn't have water for like days or a week or I can't remember. And they couldn't flush toilets. They couldn't turn on the water. So people in the community started going to the community pool and getting water out and putting it for, to flush toilets and other stuff. And so she's like, yeah, it got so bad that people were actually going to the community pool. They actually had to tell people not to do that, but nobody was listening.
I have a big rain bucket.
A rain bucket.
Yeah, a huge.
Anything else that you guys want to add before we get off the show today?
Already?
Anything?
No.
We got about 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Well, we got about 15 more minutes, but I'm going to end early because I only got a little bit of battery on my computer here. But do you guys have any questions for us? Let us know. Thank you so much for always joining in at 10 a.m. I think, unfortunately, because our busy season is here, we have to dedicate like all hands on deck this annual enrollment. We may only do one show a month for the rest of the year. I haven't decided yet.
What did we do? It record it the afternoon when we're not busy, or I don't know. Even then, we probably won't be able to do it.
It's going to be tough. But what we might do for the next couple of months is it'll be more of a scheduled thing, to where we put it out there on an invite, and you guys can just it's going to be live, but we'll just let you guys know what the schedule is going to be. So that way you guys know when we're going to be on. But starting in January, we'll go back to the normal time, but just in this annual enrollment, it just gets so busy. I think last year we were doing it every Friday, but we really needed that Friday to stay on, to help out, to help clients, to be out and about. Anything else that you guys want to add? Before we get going?
No, we're just here for anybody. If they have any questions, if they need any help, this is our busy time. Take the time to take care of your clients.
Yes.
Don't rush. There's always going to be enough clients, and there's always enough time. So, be aware of that and just do the right thing for the client.
And how can they reach you, Sylvia?
At 210-878-9534.
And how can they reach Adriana?
You can reach me at 210-404-4762. I had to think about that. Sorry, guys.
So 210-404.
4762.
And I already know Sylvia's. It's 210-878-9534.
She's repeated it
I had to think about my number
times.
because I don't have it memorized, just like I don't have anybody else's number memorized. It's like on speed dial.
I know. I only know my brother.
I'm horrible.
So if something ever happens, he's the only one I can call.
I know. I only know your phone number, which is good because you probably would be the one that bails me out.
Yes.
I have my sister's number because she's had the same number like me since high school. I know my spouse's number. So I know about 4 people's number offhand. And
I only know one person's number. That's Lorenzo's number.
oh, you
Yeah.
better learn. You better
That's-
learn.
I
know.
Hey, you know the 800 number. So if you call that number, it'll get one of us.
Oh, that's
Ah,
true.
that's true.
Yeah. So you have that little round robin. You know somebody's going to answer.
That's true.
So-
I need to be billed out by 8 o'clock because I have a 10 o'clock
I'll be like,
appointment.
"Can I get my phone?" Because I need to.
Knock your wood.
You're like, I'm getting an inbound. I'm getting a call. I'm getting a call.
All excited.
Oh, wait, it's just me calling.
That's funny.
So guys, if you are an agent, good luck out there this annual enrollment. Stay safe. If you're doing the field, some things that, some tips before I let you guys go for the field. Okay. As much as I love my seniors, I love you guys and I trust you, but there are some people that you just never know. So I treat
stranger danger.
treat it the way I do if I were at a bar. I never drink open container. If they have bottled water, drink bottled water. Now, if you know your client, you're friends with them, they
Yeah.
want to have coffee, yes. But if it's a new client and you're out in the boonies, driving 3 miles into a ranch like I used to, and it was just me and the resident, and it's a male, don't drink anything from their, I mean, just politely say,
Yeah.
no, I, what I typically do is I say, well, this is true, is I try not to drink a lot during my times when I'm meeting people, because I hate to stop to go to the restroom, because normally I'm like, one person. So that would be good. But if they have bottled water, take that bottled water.
Yeah. The buddy system, like we used to do.
Buddy system.
System. And sometimes if it was really bad, I would walk in there pretending I'm talking to my husband. Yes, I just walked in this house. I'll call you when I leave. And if you get a gut feeling, it's only happened to me twice since I've been selling, that I got there and I had this bad feeling and I left. And one of the times I called Rafa, and I asked him, I can't go to this house. There's just something about it. And he went and talked to them. And then he called me. He's like, yeah, you shouldn't have gone. So if you have a gut feeling, don't go in there. Just listen to your gut.
Yeah, I've had a couple. I'd say maybe like 2 or 3 that I've had that were like, I got to get out. I remember one time calling you like, hey, if I don't come out of here in like
we used to do that
30 minutes, this is the address. So we would, we were so tired of texting each other the addresses, because we always had a hunch that this was not going to go well. And so we started putting this app on our phone where I knew where Sylvia was at and she knew where I was at. And so, we would abuse it, because when we would, Desiree wants to join in. Oh, let's see if Desiree's at the thing here.
Oh, she had an event this morning.
Yeah. Let me,
she had HEB, or I text her.
Here you go, Desiree. I'm putting it in the chat. Okay. You might be at an event, but let's see what Desiree has to say. Put on y'all's little, ching.
Because they were all over the place.
Well, y'all not going to be able to hear her.
I don't know what.
I'll let you know what she says if she comes on. But yeah, so there's an app that you can download so we would abuse it. And when me and Sylvia would meet at our place at Outback for an ahi tuna and some wine, I'd be like, where are you at? She's like, I'm almost there. And I'd look at the app. I'm like, you're lying. You're not even here for another 15 minutes. I'm almost there.
I was on my way.
I'm on my way. So that's another good tip, is have the buddy system if you're an agent. If you're a client, same for you. If you don't feel like there's a lot of agents there that door knock, especially like male agents, right? Just if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to let them in.
I have to tell you a story on that. I went to a client's house and it was, I walked into the apartment, I knocked and they said, come on in. So I'm thinking it's the apartment, right? So I walk in, how are you doing? She goes, give me a second. Go ahead and have a seat. Do you want a water? She gave me a water. I was in the wrong apartment.
Oh, sorry, come in.
The wrong apartment. It was 111. So I don't know if I wrote it down or she, but this client let me go into her apartment.
Exactly. Desiree, what? I can't.
Can you hear
that?
No, I can't hear you.
We have kind of bad reception.
Sorry.
We can't hear you guys.
We don't know sign language.
Sorry.
Peace
Bye.
and the check. That's all I know.
Okay, are you there? No, they're not there.
What else? What's other sign language you know?
I took sign language in college. I just can't.
Guys,
I would have practicing. I don't know.
It's not
Okay,
working.
something.
I have bad reception.
Okay, well, y'all have fun.
That was it?
Bye. Yeah.
What did she say?
They were at an event, but they wanted to chit chat, go live with us there. But all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in with us. We will see y'all on the next show. We're going to post it here in our Facebook page, as well as all of our other pages on social media, to let y'all know when our next show is going to be. Unfortunately, because of annual enrollment, we can't be here every Friday. I wish we can. But priority is to help the clients and during this busy time, and to make sure that that we're all hands on deck. And Friday, I know it only seems like an hour, but it's a little bit of prep time prior to, so we still have to get prepared for that.
Takes work.
So, but nonetheless, if you guys have questions, comments, concern, call us 866-717-8683. If you're a client, we'll be happy to help you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great weekend. We will see y'all on the next show. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.